Powerbeats Pro, it's a big day. You know that. Battery life, sports, LeBron James. Are you going to recommend these over AirPods? Are these better than AirPods, yes or no?
I say AirPods are better.
Wow!
Yeah.
All right, let's find out. It's been a long time, actually, since I looked at a pair of Beats. This is the latest from the Beats brand. Of course, now in the Apple family, and because of that, some benefits to this particular product. It actually behaves a lot like AirPods. I do have some AirPods here. These are the black ones from a recent video. These are done up by Colorware. No, you can't get them in black, but it kind of makes sense for this comparison since the Powerbeats Pro are in black. These are going to be a little bit more expensive than Apple's AirPods, and they have a slightly different design. I think this will be popular for athletes, people who want to have the ear hook on there, have a bit more of a secure fit. Battery up to 9 hours of wireless play, 24 hours with the charging case. Sweat and water resistant, adjustable secure fit, and on-ear controls. One thing I like, before I even pop this open, they put the controls on both earbuds. So you can trigger, play, pause from either side, whichever is right for you. So you don't need to remember, was that button on the left or on the right? Now, of course, with the Beats products, pretty much all of them, the expectation is kind of premium price point. Like, it's 250 bucks. So keep that in mind. The case is bigger. It's quite a bit bigger than AirPods. It's way bigger. It's like 6 of these AirPods, 5 maybe. You pull out the earbud. It fits over the ear like this. And you have interchangeable ear tips as well. This has become the standard for athletic style earphones. And for good reason. You want something lightweight, you want something secure, and you don't want something huge. And you want something sweat resistant. Well, this has all those components and attributes. So I think eventually you're going to see a lot of these things at the gym. You're going to see a lot of these things on the basketball court. This is the wireless charge case. There's 2 contact points on the inside. There's also a button on the inside. I guess it's a pairing button. Of course, if you have an iPhone, when you pop this open, it's gonna register to pair immediately, or at least it's gonna ask you to register to pair, because this product is using the H1 chip. So to pair it, you're just gonna pop this open, don't remove the earbuds, and then it'll prompt you on your device. If you do have an Android device, these will work as well. You're just gonna need to press and hold the pairing button and then pair it like you would any other Bluetooth device. So yes, even though Beats is part of the Apple brand, this will work with Android devices and various other Bluetooth devices. Now the port on the back, it's not USB Type-C, so staying true to the Apple branding, like the AirPods, this is actually a lightning connector, a black USB cable to charge it up, a lightning connector there. So kind of unfortunate if you have a lot of USB Type-C components. This has iPhone users first, they're front of mind, and it makes sense because these Powerbeats Pro, they're going to be sold in Apple stores. They're going to move a lot of units on Apple's website. So they're going to take care of iPhone users first. 5-minute charge equals 1.5 hours of play. Here's the different ear tip options. This is important, especially for a $250 pair of headphones. You kind of have to have this. You should have this. It's going to be in the ear canal. It's going to fit a bit deeper than the AirPod does. Usually what that means is you're going to have better bass reproduction because you get a better seal in the ear canal that you just can't achieve with the AirPod. But it will also mean that, you know, putting this thing on and taking it off is a bit more of a headache. It's not quite as smooth, so just keep that in mind as well. But that looks like the standard medium connector. They've also included this 2-stage adapter. If you look at that, just before I try these things out, I think it's kind of important to address the size because I think some people are going to think that's a big container. So AirPods, tiny little dental floss situation, that is obviously, it's nothing. You don't even notice it. It's got a barely there kind of situation. If you try to do that with the Powerbeats, the latest Powerbeats Pro, what's going to happen? I mean, you're going to see it, but it's doable. It's not terrible, actually. It's heavier. You're not going to want it there all day. Headphones over here, phone ready to go. You pop it open, and look at this. This is really the benefit of this cohesiveness. If you're an iPhone user, you're really going to appreciate this. And how is the install? Let's go ahead and try. Oh, I got a little audio tone played in the ear. That's the install. I mean, obviously, it feels super secure. So in this case, play pause is the Beats logo button right here. It's a physical button. It's not a tap. It's not capacitive. I like the idea of a physical button. Same goes for volume, which is on the top here. Hopefully, Kirk can see that. This is volume up and down. I can tell already, though, before I even play music, that the seal here is far more substantial in the ear canal. I'm sealed off a little bit from the rest of the world. So therefore, the experience is more isolating. That might be what you want. You want to drown out all the coffee shop noise or the noise at the gym and things like this. You can understand why you would want that. But then there's the argument for the convenience factor of not necessarily fully closing off the whole world, which is what happens with AirPods. That said, I'm going one layer deeper here. A lot of people make the argument that with those, you end up having to crank them up even louder, which ends up being worse for your hearing because you're trying to drown out ambience with more volume instead of by sealing off your ear canals, and then you can feed it less volume, protect your hearing a little bit better. You hear me, Kirk? I'm going to hit play and then get lost for a minute here. These are hip-hop headphones. Like, that's the thing. You know? They really shine when you feed them some bass. They want to eat some bass. You hit it with some hip-hop and it's thumping. I mean, it's doing something that the AirPods can't do. I'd say I see less of a significant improvement with kind of classic songs where I was kind of thinking, I was hoping for maybe a little bit more, like where maybe there wasn't quite as much oomph, but that stuff was mixed differently back then. That wasn't, they weren't mixing for a subwoofer, and these things, they really replicate the feeling of an actual subwoofer in like a car stereo. Like it thumps in your head when you feed it some hip hop. I'm sure it'd be the same for a lot of pop music, modern music. I think these things are really tuned for modern music based on this experience here. But there's more to this package, I suppose. Like when you think about what this thing is and who it's for, like my feeling has become, like just in this short exposure to this particular earbud, is it's like a package deal type of thing. I get it. The way that people think about Beats, the brand specifically, is like, oh, I'm going to pay a lot of money there for that logo. And yes, there is definitely that. You get this logo right here. Look at that. You get to wear that around. Boom. You're going to pay a few dollars, period. That's kind of the origin story of the brand. You want to put Dr. Dre's name on something prior to being acquired by Apple, it's going to cost you a few bucks. And that's just been the case for a while. So it's never really been about the value proposition. It's never really been about the best value for money. It's been about a package deal of style, sound, primarily in the bass department, and the convenience factor, which in this case is obviously a step better if you happen to be on iOS and you can utilize that H chip just like you can with the AirPods. This is going to be a popular headphone, period. I'm confident in saying it's going to be a popular headphone. There's just such a huge percentage of the market that wants something just as convenient as, I mean, I'm just speculating right now. Like, listen to me talking here. I'm just guessing, but I assume there's a percentage of the market that wants an AirPod-like experience with something that will actually stay in their ears, with something that has more durability to it, with something they feel like they can run around, jog around, bike around, be more active with, because there is a slight lack of confidence with the AirPod, even if it fits in your ear. Keep in mind, once again, I got the black AirPod here, colorware, custom AirPod. It's in there. I don't feel like I'm going to lose it, but if I got bumped or, took I don't know, if I was playing basketball, I would not want to have this headphone in. This, on the other hand, that would be, I feel like I could wear this on the ice playing hockey, and that would stay in. Not that I would do that. That would be a crazy idea to try to play hockey with this on. But, that's what I'm trying to get at. So it's going to have the distribution. It's going to be in the Apple stores. It's going to have the advantage of the enhanced performance on the iOS side. They're going to sell a lot of them. It's unfortunate it's got to be $250. But with the AirPods already being as expensive as they are, it's kind of like these have to be more money than that. It's imperative. And I guess maybe they could have been $200, but they're $250 because they're Beats. Let's just be honest. But they're still going to sell a bunch of them because they're going to deliver a sound that a lot of people are looking for. They're looking for that extended low end, that enhancement on the bass side. And they're doing it in an overall package deal that's quite, I'm going to be honest, that's attractive to me. There's nothing weird going on. Even the logo itself is somewhat subdued, at least on this black model. You don't see it unless it hits the reflection. Otherwise, it's a matte finish. It's pretty subdued. You got the different ear tips. They're going to sell a boatload of them. For the average person, should you spend $250, you could find a better value out there. But I know, based on the experience I've had with the AirPods themselves, there is something to be said. There is a value associated with the ease of use and the integration on the iOS side. Like that, there's an extended benefit there that's hard to put a price on specifically. So from that standpoint, it's like, where else are you going to get this package? Where else are you going to get an H1 chip experience with this kind of battery life, with this kind of profile, in something that isn't the AirPods? That's a step better than the AirPods. Like, no offense to the AirPods, but they leave you wishing for a little bit more in the sound department. What do I mean, no offense to the AirPods? Do the AirPods have feelings? No, they don't have feelings. All right. I said in a previous video, when I did the video on the AirPods, I'm a guy, I'm into headphones. I got very expensive headphones. They're all over the place. But I just don't find myself reaching for them as much because they're less convenient in some way. Whether they're huge or there's a cable associated, they just don't go in the pocket. There's various ones that are less likely to be charged. This package deal here proved to be so convenient that even though I had way better sounding headphones, I found myself reaching for these. And this is an extension of that. This is the next step. The convenience factor here, it goes down a bit. You get the bigger package. They don't pop in and out of your ears quite as easily, but they still have some of that origin story, some of those convenient elements that come with this. And for the time being, that remains an exclusive item for Apple branded and of course Beats branded via Apple products. So that's something to keep in mind. I think they're going to sell a bunch of them. If you want a slick package, if you're happy with the branding, if you want to rep the B on the side, if you like a lot of bass, you're going to be happy with these. You got to pay to play in this department. No jokes. They don't let you in the front door without $250. To be clear. You hear me, Kirk? $250. That's the ticket to get in the door. All right? Front row seats. Raptors in the playoffs. Game 6. Coming soon. Let's go Raptors.